The Bitcoin is crashing and people blame the Trump's administration tariffs for that. However, the news never make the market. How else would you explain that we have been able 4 days ago to predict the exact movement? News never make the market, human behavior does, and in this video I'll reveal to you the next move. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Salmon from MCP Paradise. So 8 days ago we have been firstly expecting that Bitcoin will be with the highest probability moving down towards $82,000. As you know, it happened, and after that we have knew that we are about to start pumping from that support, right? And that we have been updating 4 days ago, and I told you we are about to have a retest of $87,000 and possibly a week out towards a retest of this triangle. As you know, from our medium time frame perspective, that happened as well, and the question right now is what's next? You already know from the previous video, from the latest one day ago, where I have mapped for you the exact price action for the next 3 months, that we are about to revisit $72,000 next, because we have already finished this pumped higher. However, it's not gonna move in a straight line. The market makers need to create the price action confusing, so there is loads of liquidity for them to be able to move the price. And in this video we will be trying to understand how the price action on lower time frames will look like. So for that we need to analyze the market deeply, and we will start to understand how the market is going to behave with the highest probability in that next 3 months. We need to analyze the market deeply, and for that we will start at our ultra high time frame chart, and we can clearly see by revisiting that $87,000 we have once again got a clear rejection from that moving average trend line, from this orange trend line, ladies and gentlemen. That is working since we have broken below this as a resistance. You know that for nearly 3 years it was working as a beautiful support and really been helping us a lot to understand where is going to be the next local bottom. However, after our prediction at $109,000 that we are about to crash very hardly, firstly towards $77,000 and then towards $44,000, the prediction was made. Also in this video 2 months ago we have crashed below this moving average trend line with a powerful volume, as you can see right here, and afterwards it was reclaimed and now acting as an active resistance. And as you can see from the previous week, we already have the shooting star that I've been describing for you in the previous video right here, and right now it seems like we will create another shooting star, which is a double confirmation of bearish candlestick pattern. We are closing the weekly candle in 3 days 9 hours, ladies and gentlemen, so there is still time to go. However, I believe that we will once again close the weekly candle below $87,000 at least, and that will support our bias that the A wave of our zigzag formation that we are projecting since January is still not finished and will finish actually at that $72,000. After that we will have the B corrective wave, and then we will have the move towards $44,000, ladies and gentlemen. So just to recapitulate everything, here we had the first grand supercycle wave, right, that is subdividing itself into 5 smaller waves. After that we predicted the top right here, and we have started the secondary corrective wave. This is a classic Elliot wave theory. On our website mycryptoparadise.com you can get a clear understanding of how the dynamics of this price action development works in detail. Right now what is important to understand is that after we hit that $44,000 we will not be panic selling like everybody else, ladies and gentlemen, but we will be once again positioning ourselves as same as we did at $19,500, because we will be anticipating the third grand supercycle wave towards $240. But about that later. Let's right now zoom in into this A wave by shifting our focus on high time frame. This is daily time frame, ladies and gentlemen. In here we will be talking about the time frame, okay, when we will hit that $72,000, ladies and gentlemen. We will take a look at some pattern, but firstly let's understand the impulse that we are forming right now. You already know that after we have broke below this contracting triangle we have started a new impulse. First wave was already finished right here and we have knew about it. That's why we have been anticipating this pump. That was basically the secondary corrective wave. After that we know that third wave wave is coming, we are already forming the third wave, then we will have a corrective move, fourth wave, and the fifth wave will finish at $72,000. From the high time frame perspective, what supports this movement is our exaggerated bearish divergence. As you can see on RSI, we are having a lower high. However, on the price action, we have just created equal high, a double top formation that is actually forming in an Adam and Eve pattern. As you know, the Adam and Eve pattern is a powerful double top formation, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eve, this is Adam, and they are together forming a strong double top formation that will be very hard to break above. However, if we take a look back at our oscillators, we can see that also our stochastic RSI is doing some action, but a bit different than the classic RSI. The stochastic RSI is oversold right now, and I believe that before we start moving below the $80,000 support, we will need to have a breather towards the overbought zone once again. So we are waiting for the stochastic RSI to have a relief, and it might happen with two waves. Either we will be consolidating, or there might be a little bit push to the upside, and we will be talking about the possible push to the upside on lower time frames. But before that, we need to understand that the third wave of our impulse, as you know from our website, this is an upward impulse. This, what you can see on the chart right now, is a downward impulse, but the rules are absolutely the same. The third wave of an impulse also subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves, and unlike first wave that can be also a leading diagonal or impulse, the third wave is always an impulse. Okay, so we understand that right now we are forming the third wave because the secondary wave was finished right here. We have not crossed the top, so the rules are respected, and I do believe that from the smaller waves count, we have just created a first wave, but we are about to have a secondary wave, then a third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave that will finish at $77,000. So I do believe that we might have a push higher right now before we go lower. The stochastic RSI supports that bias. We will be taking a look at that price action on a lower time frame, but to understand when we can really hit that $72,000, ladies and gentlemen, for that we need to extend this descending trend line. Okay, so we extend it like this, and it can give us a rough idea of what we can expect. Okay, so if we will continue in this sharp moving trend, as you can see, we have done a big movement just in a one candle. Well, it's not that big, it was around like 5%, but anyway, we can see that we are starting sharp movements. Unlike here, it was more like a zigzag, right? Right now we are starting sharp moves. So if we will continue in this trend, we can complete the move higher very quickly, and then we can start moving down. And I do believe that because we will need to hit the $72,000 plus this descending trend line, we can finish it in about 8 or 9 days. So in 10th or 11th of April, I believe that we can be at $72,000, ladies and gentlemen. The time is often very hard to predict. As a professional traders, we are mostly interested in the numbers. However, a rough expectation is good for estimating your take profits and what to expect with the market. Basically, you have more information, right? So you have more data that you can calculate with, and the time is one of them. That's exactly what we are doing in ParadiseTeam VIP. We are gathering as much data as possible, and based on that we are building our tactics, our trading tactics, and our trading strategy. Alright, so right now let's zoom in a little bit and understand if we really can have the push higher before going lower. So let's shift our focus to medium time frame right now, and here we can see much more clearly the individual subwaves. Alright, so this was the first impulse, right? Then we have created the second corrective wave that in the previous video we have understood is being formed in expanded flat pattern, and right now we are forming the third wave that will finish at around $77,000. I believe fourth wave will be just a very short correction, because in the Elliot wave theory works something like an alternation, and if the secondary corrective wave is too complex, the fourth wave corrective pattern will be quite simple. Well, and after that we will have a fifth wave that I believe will finish at $72,000. And not only alternation is something that works in the markets, but also fractal patterns. And let me show you one more time the expanded flat pattern right here that we have been forming the corrective secondary wave on a higher degree. And right now what you can see is that we are probably forming something similar on a lower degree, right? So this was probably the first impulse from this third higher degree wave, right? We didn't had yet the secondary wave, and I do believe that right now we are forming actually the secondary wave in a similar formation in expanded flat pattern, right? So I do believe that if we will be holding above this previous low and we will not reclaim it and turning it into a resistance, I believe we can also form the expanded flat corrective pattern that you can learn about on our website for free, microparadise.com, and the C wave can actually take us to a very interesting level, ladies and gentlemen. And I do believe that if we analyze the previous cycle, the cycle that made our secondary wave right here, and put our Fibonacci sequence tool at the swing high and at the swing low, we can actually see the Fibonacci retracement levels 0.618 and 0.786 points, and we can see that the zone is ending at around $86,000 to $87,000. And because we didn't have a secondary wave on a smaller degree that would correct this first smaller subwave, I do believe that if we will be holding above this previous low, we can actually have a similar impulse that we had right here, but it will be on a smaller degree. So that's basically a fractal, right? So there is a possibility that we will be retesting that $86,000, $87,000. We will be retesting one more time this resistance that wasn't retested just yet, okay? And if you understand the market, if you understand the trading, you also understand that the important levels should be retested always before some bigger move happening, right? So I do believe that there is a possibility that we can have the retest of this resistance and then start to move towards that $77,000, ladies and gentlemen. So what can support our buyers is some kind of accumulation from whales that I will share with you very soon after we will be looking at the insider data. Other than that, we also can see a small exaggerated bullish divergence, because on the MACD the histogram is making lower low. If you see the line properly, is making lower low. However, the price is making equal lows, right? So that basically means that somebody is selling right here, probably retail in panic, right? However, the price is not moving below, so somebody is accumulating, the selling pressure, somebody is using the selling liquidity into accumulating, right? So that's why you see the momentum going lower, right? Somebody is really exhausting the momentum, the bearish momentum, but the price lacking to follow. That's kinda good for bulls. They can take over from here, right? So that's one thing that supports it. We have a confirmation from stochastic RSI. We can see pretty much the same thing. We can also see a decreasement on volume on the secondary red candle, as you can see right here. Let me just clear this up. As you can see, this was the volume where we have finished the price at around $82,000, and right now this is the secondary candle that could start a new bear trend. But look at the volume and look that we are not able to close below the previous low. All right, so that supports a bullish bias. It doesn't mean though that you would have a high probability of opening a long position. We know the dynamics from the higher degree are bearish, right? We understand that we are in the bear market right now, so every long opportunity comes with extremely lower probability and should be taken with an extreme caution. And if you don't know what you are doing, the rule of thumb is that you shouldn't be taking longs at all. Also, right now we are still having this as a support, right? We will only turn this into resistance if this secondary 4-hour candle will retest it and close below it. That didn't happen just yet, okay? So we still have like 4 hours to go. The new 4-hour candle just appeared. Obviously, if we will close below this low, that means if we will close below around $81,000, we will reclaim it by closing below it, then retesting it and shifting it into a resistance. That will mean that probably this might have been a secondary wave, even though it's very weird. It would be very sharp one, but it might happen. As a professional trader, you need to be able to count with everything, right? And that would mean that we are straight going towards $77,000. However, you always need to wait for confirmations. Right now, the market suggests that there is a possible pullback before continuation lower. If we zoom in into this price section on a low time frame into our 1 hour time frame, we can beautifully see the kind of thing I've been sharing with you in the previous video when we have been forming this impulse from the expanded flat, right? So you know that the A is in corrective mode, B in corrective mode as well, but the C can finish in ending diagonal or an impulse. And we knew this is an impulse, that's why we have placed the parallel channel right here. And I told you that the fourth wave had this throw under, right? After that, I told you that the fifth wave, you can watch the previous video, the fifth of the fifth, because of the Elliot wave rule of repetition, will have throw over. And that's exactly what happened right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave had a throw over. So that's something when you are doing day trading, when you are doing swing trading, you need to be calculating with, because you don't really know how big of the wick can be, right? So this wick could actually wick out a little bit higher, you don't know. But the good thing to understand is that when the fourth wave of an impulse having a throw under, the fifth wave will have throw over, okay? And you need to be trading carefully based on that. Put in your stop losses probably a little bit higher, or wait for some more confirmation before taking a trade, etc. That's what really separates the professional traders that are long-term profitable from the crypto noobs that are just gambling in the market. If we extend this ascending trend line that have been working as a support right here, right here, right here, we know that we have broken below it, right? And we have not just yet retested that into a resistance. So that's one more thing that suggests that we might have a pullback higher to retest not only this resistance, but also this ascending trend line that previously worked as a support and turn it into a resistance at around $87,000. But as you can see right now, we are fighting with this zone right here that probably might turn into resistance. We need to see confirmations for that. But as I said, the secondary wave would be very weird, because some kind of ABC where the C is truncated is happening very rarely in the market. It's not impossible, right? The C wave of ABC zigzag can be truncated, but zigzag is usually a deep correction, so it must go at least 50% of the previous trend before continuation in the higher degree trend. So the probabilities are low right now. However, it can happen, and we need to monitor the market. That's what we are doing in ParadiseTeam VIP, and then we are informing the members that are in our inner circles exactly about what we are doing live, exact entry and exit targets on all of our trades. Another thing that we are watching is definitely USDT dominance. You know that I've been in the previous video talking about this support, okay? That also helped us to understand that we are about to crash, because when the USDT dominance is bullish, the crypto market is bearish, and vice versa. And right now you can see that the USDT dominance is really trying to fight hard this resistance. The kind of simple rule in the market is that we are usually breaking some strong resistances, and this is a strong resistance on a fourth or fifth touch. And as you can see, we have tested it once time, we have tested it twice, thrice. So I believe that we will need to have one more pullback to reload our AMOs, and then we will be able to push through it on a fourth touch. However, if we will be able to reclaim on a 4-hour time frame this USDT dominance, this resistance, and turn it into support, that will be confirmation for the Bitcoin that we are moving towards that $72,000 and $77,000 without needing a kind of pullback higher first. Other things that I will really rapidly mention, because we don't have much time left, is the social index that I've been watching together with you. You know that in the previous video I told you we are in the oversold zone. This is good for going to the upside. And then I told you that as we have done for the previous month, these kind of cycles that helped us to understand where is the bottom, where is the top on Bitcoin, we are back at the points 60 and we are about to start moving down, right? And right now you can see that we are in the orange color, and sometimes, for example, right here, that was enough to start moving to the upside. So that would support one more time retest of $87,000. But if we will continue to go down, we will wait for the red color to be really sure that we are about to have some kind of pullback, and then really depends on the price action of Bitcoin where the red is going to appear, and based on that we will be reacting on this information. Also, you can see that we are right now with the fear and greed index also almost at the bottom. We are back at the points 20, so that could support the bias that we might have a retest of $87,000. Also, the behind the scenes accumulation I've been talking about on Binance, you can see that the order book suit is really revealing that somebody is holding the price above the previous low right here, because we can see a strong accumulation. Also in this candle we can see that somebody was strongly accumulating, and that's also why we have the divergences on the oscillators I've been sharing with you. The similar accumulation was happening at around this low, at this low right here, this low right here as well. So that all of this supported bias that we will have a retest of $87,000 one more time before going lower. But again, that would just confirm a more aggressive bearish tactics. It doesn't mean that we are buying Bitcoin right here or longing anything. I hope you are enjoying these videos. If you don't absolutely hate these videos, smash the like button, subscribe so you don't miss any new video. I'm recording every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, so that means that I will see you again on Saturday. Cheers.